Hello, my name is John Rose, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at the many levels in Plato's cave. And for those who are not familiar with Plato's cave, it's basically a cave of ignorance where most of us don't know we don't know. Now, I did a video a while back. I'll put a link down below, and it's one of my favorite videos. I wish more people would watch this. I call it Escaping the Matrix of Evil. It's where I go into detail about how there are four main stories that talk about the first three main pieces in my puzzle or my schematic. The first three out of 281 pieces I've identified. And there are also three of the 21 main problems of knowledge I've identified. And this video that I did a while back, the four stories have to do with the Matrix, Plato's cave, the 5%ers, and then there's a really interesting allegory called Our Ship. And in every one of those, they talk about these three pieces to the story. And please go watch that video, and I think you really will like it. It'll make this video make more sense. But the key here is the first two of these pieces to these stories, have to do with two forms of ignorance, or we don't know. There's knowledge that we're missing. We got false knowledge in its place. And then there's the number one source for false knowledge. Now, this is why there are many levels in Plato's cave. A lot of people find piece number 3. They've gone up a level in Plato's cave, and they go, hey, there's a fox guarding the hen house. Hey, there are wolves guarding the foxes. Hey, you guys are sheep. Wake up, wake up. You got piece number 2, false knowledge. You don't know the earth is flat. You don't know there are reptiles ruling the world. You don't know there are globalists who are running everything. Wake up. If you just woke up, we could solve the problems. If you just admitted that the earth is flat, you'd have to admit that in creation and that God exists, and if we worship God instead, we wouldn't worship money. I love studying everybody who thinks they have a solution. That's what I've been doing for 26 years. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I love looking at what other people think is a solution, especially now that I've identified all the pieces, so I can go, oh, they're talking about piece 7.2. Oh, they're talking about piece number 3. Do they have the right piece of the puzzle? No, they're distracted. That's why I say over and over in my videos, and a lot of you people who've recently found my channel by watching my Flat Earth video and haven't watched any of my other videos, you don't know that all of my other videos, I say the same thing over and over and over. Either we're getting reconnected or we're getting distracted. Either we're finding piece number 1, and that has to do with the fall of mankind, where we correct that mistake, and that's all that matters, or we're getting distracted. Everything else, distracted. Everything else is a distraction. Now, I've never said ever in my other videos that we should ignore that, because we have to do downstream work. But it doesn't matter who's doing what. We just got to correct what they've done. Now, if the earth is really flat, can we correct that? No. Does it solve any problems? Well, it helps us understand we can't trust our belief system. Well, I like that idea. But does it solve any problems? The key about any revolution is we don't want to put too much attention on piece number 3. And I explained that in my other videos. I labeled that as piece number 8.8. In my special teaching tool, I did an 11-part video series called The Ultimate Solution. I'll put a link down below that takes you to that section where I talk about 8 ways we use the wrong approach, and this is the 8th one. And this is where we put too much attention on piece number 3, thinking it's a solution. That's why it's a distraction. We can't ignore piece number 3, but we also don't want to believe in anything that takes away our responsibility too. Now, why do people believe in the flat earth? What's the ultimate goal there? I haven't studied this enough to know what everyone believes, and I watched one little video today, and that was this guy's conclusion, that if indeed the earth is flat, then that proves creation, and therefore, and that's what he said in his little description. God can't serve two masters. It's either God or money. The bankers, they want us to believe the earth is round, so we don't believe in God. Having a belief in God is not our solution, my friends. That doesn't solve anything. Oh, if we believe in God, we wouldn't be acting up. Would you not have cancer? Or how many people do you know who believe in God are dying all around you and are suffering, they're in pain? That's what George Malcolm said when he finally figured out what to do and went to raw food diet. As a Baptist minister for 25 years, he said, 90% of the people coming to me for help. We're suffering. I didn't have any knowledge for that because I didn't know about the body. This is the most important knowledge we need, and that's why I say over and over and over, it's a distraction. Yes, we have to do downstream work. Does believing the earth is flat do any downstream work? I don't see it. Are we being manipulated? Oh, I heard one comment saying, wait a minute, NASA, they're just siphoning off a bunch of money. They're taking our money away from us. This isn't about money. The only way this could be about money is to keep us from not having it. Because the people who have it all already have more than they ever need. And again, it's if you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, especially if you don't have that number one piece, you really don't understand what the actual solution is. Now, if you do understand that we got to get reconnected, but you still believe in flat earth, I'm going to bet my money that you're probably a firm believer in God, and you think this proves your beliefs, and boy, I'm going to embrace it because I've been wanting to prove that this is, this backs up everything I believe. And again, I'm only guessing, but the point here is, does it really solve a problem? And I know a lot of people do. I have really good friends that insist, oh, this is just a short time, it's the hereafter. Don't believe in the afterlife con, man. That's the biggest con ever sold to anybody. To forget what we're doing here, because it doesn't matter. It's just a little drop in the bucket. After is so much bigger. Hey, you're here now, buddy. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't be tricked and deceived. So there are a lot of things that are distractions. And we do have to work downstream and undo the things these people have done. But I've said this 1,000 times. I don't care if it's the white people doing it. I don't care if it's the Zionists that are doing it. I don't care if it's the aliens that are doing it. We got to stop doing it. Stop doing it. And it's so hard to do. It's the reason why I added a preliminary step to this. That's the solid food vacation. If you haven't done this yet, go down below and check out my video in the description box on taking the first step. Watch the Dr. Roba interview and get motivated. He's on day 21. Watch the Deborah Duncan show. You see 6 people doing this. Read the comments down below. Look what's happening to people. This is the solution. If we don't understand how important it is for us to collectively get reconnected, everything's a distraction. If we don't reach the tipping point, everything's a distraction. If we don't change our mentality, everything's a distraction. Flat earth does not change our mentality. It doesn't get rid of cancer or heart disease or diabetes. It's not the solution to war. Oh yes, it is, John, the globalists. They finance both sides, but they're a reflection of us. If you believe in aliens, that's taking away our responsibility. We are the enemy. Not the bankers, they're a reflection of us. Don't focus on who's controlling us. Play your role, man. Get reconnected. That's why we're suffering. Collectively, we're a bunch of shit. We've got a bunch of crap in us, that's a serpent, and then our biophotons are too low. That's why we suffer. If we don't focus on correcting the fall of mankind and those 5 main mistakes, everything we do is a distraction. Everything we do is a distraction. Case closed. Oh, you're not open-minded. Yeah, I am. I love studying other people who believe certain things and punch holes in it. I already found holes in these guys' theories already. Punch some holes in it. Well, I'm not going to look. I don't care about whether the earth is flat or not, but I'll punch some holes in why people think it's flat. People think, oh, it's all about the money. Well, what is money? I've identified that in 2 places on my ultimate schematic. It's piece 34 in the plus 8 box of knowledge. It's one of our subsequent needs. There's 10 subsequent needs because we're disconnected, because we have the wrong mentality, because of the fall of mankind. And one of them is our subsequent need for money. So that is a problem in knowledge. So if piece 34.2 comes down, is up in the plus 8 box, and then if you look at my schematic, there's a doorway in between where we have the knowledge we need and the false knowledge right here is where we're at. Now there are obstacles in that doorway, and this is one of the obstacles, 7.2. There are a total of 40 obstacles altogether because there are pieces within pieces. There's 21 main problems of knowledge. The main problem of knowledge is up in the plus 8 box of knowledge, the knowledge we don't have. Then we have false knowledge in its place. And then there are 19 obstacles or 19 reasons why we don't know. But then within that, we have 21 pieces within pieces. So there's actually 40 pieces altogether. And one of those pieces within pieces is 7.2, our subsequent need for money. But also in that doorway, we also have piece number 3, that I'm one source of false knowledge. And you don't want to focus too much attention on that, but we have to appreciate what it's done to us so we can reverse what they've done. The solution is not to go, hey, everybody, you don't know about piece number 3. You don't know the earth is flat. That's not a solution. It doesn't solve anything. The solution is, got to go upstream, find the knowledge we need, get reconnected, and then end up in paradise instead of down here where we got all these problems. Now, if we focus too much attention on piece number 3, and you think that's the solution, it doesn't get us up into finding the knowledge we need. That's the key. We don't have the knowledge we need. Knowledge of how to live is the most important thing we need to know. Whether or not we live on a flat earth or a round earth is not of any significance to those unless they want to try to prove it's a way we're being manipulated. And I like that. I like showing that. And remember, it's good to study people who think they have a solution. This is how we learn. This is part of the hero's journey. There are 5 phases or 5 steps on the hero's journey. The third step, the third phase, is to find like minds, gather allies, and gather data. And this is part of the data we need to understand. We need to know a lot about piece number 3. It's not a distraction to spend 10, 20 or so hours studying the flat earth. I like doing that. It's a great idea. That's how I've learned so much, is I study everybody and see if they have a point of view I haven't used yet. But what I found at this point, I've identified, I think, all the pieces. I'm not seeing any new pieces at me. All I see is people having parts of the pieces and not having piece number 1. If you don't have piece number 1, it's a distraction. Doesn't mean we don't want to know about piece number 3 and undo what they've done, but saying they're Zionists or they're white people or they're aliens or whatever, they're banksters, it doesn't do any good. That's part of the distraction. You see? There's so many layers to this onion, who cares? That's what the key is. Who cares? The only thing that matters now is for all of us to play our role so we can become the best that we can be. Then once we do that, we'll have answers to all of this. There won't be any debate. Won't be any doubt. As long as we're sick, this world is a joke. Another video you got to watch is The Meaning of Life. Watch that video I uploaded. There's only one meaning in life right now on this planet, and that's to get the hell out of Plato's cave. But there are many levels of Plato's cave. A lot of you guys have just gone up a level and you're not out of the cave yet. And you think, oh, you stupid fools down there, you cave dwellers, you bottom ground cave dwellers, I'm up on this level, I'm out of the cave. You're not out of the cave. There's more to go. You got to do a solid food vacation. You got to get reconnected. You got to flush out that serpent. You got to bump up those biophotons. That's going to make you help you feel connected. People say, John, you should get a bunch of people together and have them and report the results. They're doing it already, man. Read my channel. Go to all my other videos. People are uploading. I'm on day 21. Every day's better and better and better and better. This is exciting. You got to do it. You don't believe me? Listen to Dr. Roba. He was on fire, man. You got to listen to Dr. Roba interviewed by these 2 women on day 21. Medical miracle. He now knows the systems we have are not the answers. We are the answer. That's why this is the hero's journey. Most of our problems are self-inflicted. Whether the earth is flat or round is of no consequence. Don't get distracted unless you just want to say, well, let me learn as much as I can about physics and this and that and that. That's interesting, yeah. And what are you going to find? The more you know you don't know, right? That's the Socratic irony. The bigger that circle gets inside our box of knowledge, the more we know we don't know. And that's when, if you finally get big enough, you realize, my God, I've been going down too many rabbit holes. Now, a lot of rabbit holes, again, they're worth going down. In peacetime, this is a war, damn it. People are suffering right now. Your energy doesn't need to go about flat earth. You need to do this first. You got to put all your energy in going upstream and getting this message out. That's the only thing that's important. Everything else is a distraction. But remember, once you're on the hero's journey, you got to gather information. And part of that's putting a lot of information from a lot of different sources. And that includes even something like the flat earth. Not a problem. But if you can't prove it, what good does it do? That's why it doesn't provide anything. Plus, what's the outcome of it? I don't get it. So I'm sure I'll get more comments on people saying, this is why it's important. But if you don't understand what I'm saying about getting reconnected, I might as well be talking to a rock. Seriously, man. If you haven't done what I've said, you don't know what I'm talking about. And you'll continue to get distracted. So it's time to get excited, my friends. It's time to do something many of y'all haven't done yet. And that's a solid food vacation. Why? You know. You're in for a treat.